So I have some cool news, at least cool news for me, that I wanted to share about how life can turn a full circle. And I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. And to this day, I feel like the cartoons from that era are way better than anything we've ever had. And I'm not talking about now, I know some of you are going to disagree with this, but I'm not talking about like DuckTales, woo, or Tailspin, or I don't know, Gummy Bears and all that stuff. I'm talking about Robotech, Voltron, Silverhawks, G-Force. And when I started watching those, I was like, oh my God, this animation is intense. You can have so much expression, so much character development. It was like watching a Korean drama. Everything was in there. The story was intense. Um, and there was always a huge moral of the story, which if you think about it, if you look back on it, it's Japanese. There's a lot of spirituality, a lot of things about consciousness within anime. And of course, Akira was amazing. And so it got to the point where I was like, Disney is dead to me, aside from the fact that, Disney kills all the parents off in the very beginning of the movie. But that's beside the point. And as a child, I would come up with all these ideas, these different plots and settings, but I had one problem. The problem was that I can't draw. To this day, I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. Can't draw. That's how bad it is. So I couldn't put anything to paper, maybe writing it, whatever. So, but in my head, I still love anime, even as an adult now. I'm still loving anime. I just watch K-pop Demon Hunters and other things like that. So, um, in college, I became a journalism major. I stuck it out last minute because I was almost done with it, but realized I don't want to do journalism. So here I am. I went into technology. So I became very left brained, very technical, very task oriented. And I have to say that when I started playing with Open Art AI, now I'm not affiliated with them at all. I'm just telling you my experience. I have created, and I'm so excited, my first anime cartoon where I have myself and my kids. I created us into anime characters, and I have like my first episode, which I have no idea what I'm going to call it. I have no idea what the first episode is going to be named, but I know I'm releasing it on Thursday. And what I realized, how everything came back full circle, because when I was going to school for journalism, I was an emphasis on broadcasting, and also I was a really good feature writer. So think about kind of sensationalism, things of that nature, and this whole thing, this whole process of creating my first 1 minute movie, which is already on my site, but now I'm going to release the cartoon. It really has forced me to get back into deep creative mode where I have to be very precise on facial expressions are in the setting, how they're dressed, what they're looking. I mean, it's intense, especially from someone who hasn't been a writer in such a long time. Um, it really brought back this creative side of me that I had not used in such a long time. And through this creative process, I've actually enhanced my clairs, and my intuition is stronger now because I feel like I'm becoming more balanced between the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. So it's been wonderful to see how my clairs have been enhancing during this process. So, anywho, I'm just excited because my childhood dream of creating a cartoon in anime style is coming to fruition. And if you're like me, where we're now in our second half of our lives, and we have this second half to live, go for it. Just do it. It's not scary once you get used to it. Once you get used to the prompting, it gets much easier and much easier. I know people are afraid of AI, but embrace it as a tool and do the stuff that maybe you didn't think you could ever do, like me, the drawing and all that stuff. So anyway, that's my little thing. Watch it for Thursday. I'll be releasing it. If you have ideas once you see it, whether what the name of the episode is or what the you know series, let me know.